So, as I mentioned before, welcome to tonight's Zoom Q&A session, being run in association with the Dragons Official Supporters Club and with the support of our fantastic headline partners, Compeed. My name is Polly James. I'm going to be your host tonight, obviously. In particular, thank you very much for getting stuck into this evening, even though, as I mentioned, it's a glorious, gorgeous night out there. And the beer gardens are open now. We've got a newfound freedom. So you're still here with us. So that means a lot. So thank you very much. As I mentioned, as you guys were coming in, this is our final Zoom session of the season. It's been, as I mentioned, an awesome way for us to keep connected with the community and with the supporters, from, you know, hearing from the players, the coaches, to the staff. And after a very bizarre season, a season like no other, it's been very memorable on so many levels. So once again, thank you very much for getting involved, the support, sharing the love. It's been brilliant, but it's not over yet. Tonight, we have Rhodri Williams, as you just heard us talk about, fresh from his Wales recall this week, Harrison Keddie as well, and Lloyd Fairbrother. So thank you very much, guys, for joining us. I'll speak to you in just a mo, but before we kick off, a big thank you to all the questions that have been sent in. We'll do as many as possible, but as I mentioned, you can also ask via the messenger, the chat, throughout the next 45 minutes. And just a little bit of housekeeping. Make sure you keep your mics on mute. That would be very, very helpful to us. Otherwise, it gets very noisy and hard to follow. Finally, before we kick off, a huge thank you to Compeed, who are here tonight, as I say, as our main headline sponsors, but also giving away an Adam Warren signed jersey. So everyone who is registered for tonight has automatically gone into the draw, gone into the hat, and I will announce a winner at the end of the night. So thank you very much, Compeed, for providing that amazing prize. Let's meet the special guests for this evening. Let's start off first then with Rhodri. If you can unmute your mic, Rhodri Williams, welcome to this final Zoom this evening. Are you with us, Rod? Are you off mute? There we are. Awesome. Well, welcome to tonight. I'm going to say firstly, and most importantly, how happy are you with the Wales recall? Great news after 7 years. Have you had to cancel any summer holiday plans?
No, we haven't made any.
No.
There's not much you can do at the moment, is it, with COVID?
Yeah.
So we're fortunate there. Obviously just chuffed, and the whole family is so pleased. It's been a long time. There was times where I thought, oh, it's probably gone, it's passed me by. So just chuffed to be able to put my hand up again, and get into camp and have a good go there.
Fantastic. Well, a massive congratulations. I know it's very well deserved. How has the season gone so far for you, and how is the shoulder injury, and are you fit for Friday?
Yeah, the season's been quite a strange one. Obviously, COVID has had its interruptions, and obviously I missed some of the Christmas derbies, with that being a close contact to my girlfriend who had COVID. So that was obviously a bit of a downer, because those games you won't play in. And then obviously we signed Gonzalo, so obviously that was a bit of a hold on, this isn't right. So that's obviously just put an extra span in the works, and you know, it was obviously we sat down with Dean, and he showed me the challenges I had in front of me, and it was all positive. He sort of opened my eyes up to the challenge ahead, and yeah, credit to it's professional rugby, and you've got to be challenged all the time. And you know, we speak about competitions healthy, and that certainly was. So yeah, overall the season's been a positive one, and this one we've enjoyed, and just hopefully we can keep building on this season now. Absolutely, let's hope so. And look, as captain, how pleased have you been to see the next generation coming through the season, and the likes of Ben Carter getting a Wales call-up? Yeah, obviously that's been massive for us. We've always spoke about this in our short-term plan, and we have been building, and that has shown this year. Getting someone like Ben Carter call up this summer, other people like Rio's performing week in, week out, and Iron Owen has been just a rock in the midfield, and that's just even been better now in the Rainbow Cup. We've exposed even more, like Johan. So there's plenty of youngsters coming through. So you know, the future is bright, as I say.
Absolutely. Well, look, you enjoy the sunshine at the moment. We'll enjoy the birds tweeting and the ambience for the rest of us. And we'll come back to you with more questions in just a moment. Let's move on to you, Harris and Keddie. Welcome to Zoom this evening. How has your season at Dragons gone? And pleased with your own performances?
Yeah, no, I think I've enjoyed it quite a lot. I think I've probably developed the most this year than I have in kind of previous years. So I've kind of enjoyed it on that front. And then, like you say, just new challenges as well. Like, obviously with being captain and things like that. Well, Rods wasn't playing. It was something different I probably wasn't quite used to. So I had to kind of maybe change the way I thought and approach games a bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's the mood like now in camp as we sort of approach the last game of the season? It's been a long old season. Are you keen to go out on a high?
Yeah, definitely. We got boys leaving, and we kind of want to send off on a high as well. But it's also kind of that professional sport mentality where you want to go out and win every game. Even regardless whether it's the first of the year or the last.
Absolutely. And how much are you looking forward to playing back in front of fans at Rodney Parade next season? It's been a weird year, we were saying, memorable on so many levels, but yeah, just bizarre, right?
Oh, I can't wait. Fans of Rodney make a hell of a difference. Just think of some of the games you've had there this year, and would have been a bit different if we had fans there. You think of kind of Blues and Ospreys over the Christmas period, then like Northampton in Europe as well. Just the ones that spring to mind straight away.
Yeah.
They do give you that extra kind of 5-10%, particularly going into the last 10 minutes of a game's tight.
Absolutely. Well, it will keep you hungry throughout the summer now, won't it? Knowing that the fans will be back soon. Thank you very much, Harrison. We'll come back to you again with some more fans' questions in just a bit. Let's head over and chat to Lloyd. You're in my top corner there. Lloyd Fairbrother, welcome to Zoom tonight. Let me ask you firstly, how is the Achilles after the operation in Cardiff last week, and how does the summer now look for you in terms of rehab? Have you had to cancel a holiday to Portugal this summer? Oh, I think you're on mute. You're on mute, Lloyd.
You hear me?
There we are. You're back.
There we are. Sorry, I'm not that tech savvy. It's been a crazy sort of 2 weeks really. I've never had a serious injury in my career, so the last 2 weeks, being injured, sort of straight down to getting surgery. It's all been quite a whirlwind, and at the minute it's pretty sore. I've had some pretty strong painkillers over the last couple of days, but I think the results are good. And I come out of this cast next week, and then I go into like a sort of specialist boot then, and then I start the rehab journey then. It's going to be long, but a challenge I'm looking forward to, yeah.
Absolutely. And sum up how your season has gone. You must be pleased with the progress that you have made with the number of appearances up front.
Yeah, it's been, as you touched on, it's been a long season. We've been lucky to be able to still train and play and do what we love. At the start of the season, I probably wasn't in the mix that much, and Dean sort of, like Rod touched on it, he sort of challenged me a little bit, a few areas of my game, and I think I've proved the point there, and I've sort of worked on them bits, got the nuts and bolts of my game down. Scrum obviously being the main one, and I was happy towards the end of the season. Some big performances up front. Down at the stadium, and I think we definitely improved.
Absolutely. Well, look, we hope your rehab goes well, but finally, how much do you think the team has come on this season, and what hopes do you have for the team in the future?
Yeah, I think the team's come on so much, and sometimes it's not all about rugby, it's the outside stuff as well, looking after each other, the Zoom calls that we've had, we've tried to do Zoom socials and just little things like that. That's sort of brought us together, and it's just for the young boys that's come through, it's just moved them on so much quicker, and I think we're in a great place as a team. I don't think our Champions Cup appearance was what we wanted, but we definitely want a bit more of that, and it's all in the right direction, sort of thing.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for chatting to me, answering my questions quickly there. Lloyd, Harrison and Rhodri, we're going to hand over to the supporters now, which is why we're all here. But to kick off, as always, and just to say a big thank you as well to Dan Hallett from the Dragons Official Supporters Club. He's going to have a quick chat with you guys, I suppose, just to send us out this season and then kick off with the first question. So Dan, if you could unmute your mic
I'm there. Okay.
Are you there?
Polly?
There you are, Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks, Dan. Over to you.
Thank you, Polly, for hosting again. And thanks to all the supporters that have engaged in these Q&A sessions. They've been a bit of a lifeline for us, people that normally scream and shout from the terraces. Thanks to all players and all the coaching staff that have done it, have come onto the sessions as well. It's been a bit of a breath of fresh air. I suppose, well, one of my questions to the three guys that are here tonight, they've kind of almost been answered at the moment. There's one for all three that would be, how are you going to tackle the summer break? Obviously, Lloyd's got a bit of rehab to start. Rhodri's going to be a little bit busy in Wales camp, and Harry's going to be setting off for pre-season with the Dragons. Probably going to be one of the shortest pre-seasons you've ever had. So you're probably only off for a couple of weeks before your starts up again. So it's how are you going to start off the pre-season? And for individually, it was for Harry taking on the captaincy role. I've seen from what we've seen on TV that it seems to have improved your game quite a bit, whereas you seem to be much more engaged with the referees. So I just wondered how you thought that taking on the captaincy has affected you. For Rhodri, you're looking forward to potentially playing against Gonzalo against Argentina, hopefully. And for Lloyd, just basically before the injury, do you still harbour hopes of possibly playing for the land of your, I believe, your mother's birth? So, well, whoever wants to kick off.
Should we start? Let's start with Rhodri then, about the Gonzalo question.
Yeah, we've had a bit of a laugh and a joke in training since the news broke yesterday, and just still small jokes because Gonzo's English is very good, to be fair to him. So yeah, we've had a good laugh with it, and we were trying to think of even other clubs in Europe. We were trying to think of scrum halves that have played against each other on the international level. So yeah, it could be exciting, and it will be a good challenge. But obviously, first of all, I just need to get into camp and keep my head down, and just hopefully I do have a shout at the game somewhere.
Feel Gonzalo's actually helped sort of push you on as well since he's arrived? Yeah,
100%. I'd say without a doubt, like subconsciously, you don't realize, you could be getting complacent. And yeah, that just opened my eyes up, and I just knuckled down. Picked things out of his game. I've learned things. He's very quick to break down. He's a very high tempo. So I just tried to work on my game and try and learn things and run in lines towards rucks, things like that. So yeah, there's certain things I've learned a lot from. And yeah, it has been a massive challenge, but a challenge I've quite enjoyed and I feel like I've benefited from.
Fantastic. Harrison, do you want to answer your question? I think it was, how was the extra responsibility being captain improved your game? Is that right, Dan?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably made me grow up a bit and kind of matured me a bit. Like I said before, you've got a lot more to think about than kind of just yourself when you head into a game. But so there's probably that side of it. I've probably had to kind of have a wider horizon heading into matches, thinking about more than I normally would. But also the biggest thing is probably one thing Dean spoke to me about is just kind of when you do it, you don't necessarily have to do much different. Just kind of do what you're good at and just keep on doing what they've picked you for, really, and kind of lead through action as well as words. So that's probably one of the biggest things I've probably learned from it.
Oh, I like that one. Lead through actions rather than words. And Lloyd, what was Lloyd's question again, Dan?
It was more to do with pre-injury. Does he still harbour hopes of representing the land of his mother's birth?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's something I would love to do. I feel like Wales has become my home, and to represent my mum's family and the supporters of the Dragons, it's something I would love to do. Yeah, I had a taste of it last year and I absolutely loved it. So definitely still hopeful. Yeah.
And Lloyd, we'll stay on you, because I know that you had a question for all of the guys there. But as you know, the last game approaches now, what's the plan for the short off season?
Yeah, for me personally, it's not to put too much weight on. No, it's to rest up really, get out of this cast, get my boot on, and then I am probably going to try and get away, maybe back to Cornwall, just down Tenby or something for the weekend or a week. But I do need some sort of reset, and then I'm back into rehab then and starting the journey.
Fantastic. Dan, thank you very much for your questions there. Always great to kick off, and some great insight from the boys as well. Thank you, Dan. Lloyd, we're going to stay on you, because my next question comes from Graham Bradbury. Graham, if you're here tonight, a great question for Lloyd. Once again, 2 questions, in fact. He says, as a long-time front row partner, what is your favourite Brock Harris memory? And secondly, will the Achilles injury keep you out of the end of year social?
That's a good one. It's tough for Brocky, because I joined the club the same year as him, so it's been sort of 7 seasons, and it's hard to think of one memory. But when I think of Brock, I just think of just work rate. You know, when I'm playing with him, I'm just seeing him smash people, just working above and beyond everyone else. And that's what I think of when I think of Brocky, just a real honest professional, proper man's man, you know. And there is actually, when we played Ealing actually a couple of pre-seasons ago, I remember he ran this crazy line. He scored a try, and I think he did the old like rodeo with the rope. So that was quite funny. But yeah, just memories of Brocky is just top scrummager, ultimate professional, you know, really honest. And when you're defending and you just see him smashing people, it's just, wow, right, here we go. You know, that's the sort of player he is. And end of season social, well, at the minute I'm not going to go, because I can imagine the boys wheeling me around in a wheelchair or something, and something happening. So at the minute it's probably a no-go, although I would love to go, but
especially as it's probably going to be a big reunion for a lot of you. I think you're allowed 30 people outside now, aren't you?
Oh, so. Yeah, that's not me then. Yeah. I'll be wheeling down through Newport on my own, I reckon. So.
Oh, look, thank you very much, Lloyd, for answering those questions. Graham, great question. Jamie Phillips, you have a question for Rhodri, and he says, on behalf of everyone, congratulations, Rhodri, on your recall to the Wales squad. Awesome news. He says, was it a surprise to see your name in the squad after, I suppose, 7 years? And how did you find out? And how much feedback have you had from Wayne Pivac this season?
Yeah, it was a surprise. Like I mentioned, there's times, you know, the last few recent years where I thought, oh, time's ticking here. So I was obviously chuffed to have the call. I actually found out we were training our backs unit. So I didn't see the email, because we get emailed about 10 minutes before the selection. And just walking the change rooms, and the forwards are waiting to go to do their units, and they just all started clapping. So that was quite a special moment. It's probably one I'll have to remember. Just your fellow colleagues and friends giving, you know, a bit of applause like that. Yeah, it was quite special, to be honest with you.
And do you have an inkling beforehand that you're going to be named? How does that process go? Does he, you know, give you a call up beforehand, or do you find out with everyone else? I know a lot of boys sometimes find out on Twitter.
It literally is 10 minutes before.
Is it? Wow.
Not 100% sure on timings of this one, because obviously I was out training.
Yeah.
I think the email came through around the 11 o'clock mark, and I think roughly about 10 past 11, give or take. So yeah, that's it. So you obviously, you hear the squad's getting announced, and it's, if you're close to the squad, it's obviously it's nervous times, but then sometimes it's annoying in your mind, and you know, it's just one of those things that you just can't wait to, you know, it's one of the, how can I explain it? It's something you just really want to be involved in, and
yeah,
sometimes it's nicer to be a surprise than obviously wondering if you can be in and then being let down as such.
Absolutely. And just the end part of that question, have you had much feedback from Wayne Pivac this season so far?
He's been giving feedback to Dean. I have touched base with them personally. They do come into training here and then, but on a personal level, not really. But obviously, Dean has feeded what I need to work on, and I feel like I have benefited from that.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for that insight. Congratulations once again. Let's move on to Jonathan Wilkins, who's got a question for all of you. So Harrison, we'll start with you. Who was your rugby hero growing up, and who has had the biggest influence on your career so far?
Growing up, my favourite player was probably Jerry Collins. He's probably the one I enjoyed watching the most, and then influence probably my dad, just taking me to training when I was a kid. When I started with Dragon 16s, then driving me everywhere. I remember when I first started playing for Ebervale, I couldn't drive, so I was only just turned 17, so he's driving me up there like an hour out of his way to help me get to training. So it's probably him, yeah.
Lovely. And Lloyd, what about yourself? Your biggest rugby hero and someone who's had a great influence on your career?
Yeah, heroes is a tough one because down southwest, but probably Trevor Woodman, Phil Vickery, sort of Graham Dorr. They're the sort of people I remember coming to our presentation nights and just thinking, like these are professionals. Do you know what I mean? And then sort of biggest influence is probably when I left college and joined Exeter Chiefs Academy. We had some great days there, and we was all Cornish boys coming up through. Robin Cowlin was our academy guy, and he was, hard nosed. It was tough. It was a slog, but definitely shaped me into sort of player I am now.
Fantastic. And Rhodri, your rugby hero and someone who's had a big influence on yourself.
As a rugby hero, will probably be Shane Williams. We literally about 5 minutes apart. So growing up, seeing what he achieved. Obviously, he didn't achieve much more in the game. So that was a hero looking up to. And then influence, obviously my father played first class for Swansea with the Moriartys and Websters that sort of time. Was alongside Robert Jones. So always wanted to follow down his roots, and obviously he was unlucky enough not to get a cap. So it's nice just to do one bit more than him. I don't mention that too much.
What did he say about your recall, Rhodri?
He was chuffed. He was really chuffed. He was straight on Facebook, status straight up. The family to the crowd, and they are the biggest fans, but they are big critics as well. My grandmother is very bad as being a critic. She's brutally honest, and that's why we're so close.
We love that. Well, thank you very much, Jonathan Wilkins. What a great question. Let's move on to Peter Owens. Actually, a question for you, Rhodri, once again, but the other guys chip in as well. Are the Dragons a better team now than they were at the end of last season? Will they be a better team next season?
I think those both questions go hand in hand. I think we are a better team. I believe we're a better team, and we're in a lot better position from bringing the youth through and giving those experience. And I think that will help towards next year. We spoke about not relying on 15 players throughout the year. If someone
I think we've lost. Can you hear Rhodri? I think we've lost Rhodri there a little bit outside. Maybe Harrison, can you pick up a little bit on there then?
So I think just kind of on the back of that, I think we got like eight or nine boys going away now with Wales this summer. Kind of like you say, all different varieties and experience and age. So I think them going away, kind of bringing back what they learn, will be massive for us. And then the rest of us come back into pre-season, just picking up from where we've left off to kind of continue our game. I think we found a kind of a style that works for us probably over the Rainbow Cup in the end of the Pro 14. We're trying to play a fast tempo, and I think it's got the boys excited about playing again at us. So I think we'll probably want to keep building on that now again to improve.
Absolutely. And Lloyd, I mean, it goes without question, Dragons are going to be a better team next season, right?
Yeah, it's a hard one to answer because if you look at results, and this is a result game, it's a hard one. But if you look at the sort of growth as a squad, young men coming up through, seniors, if you look at the sort of stuff that's going off the pitch, there's no way we can get better, sort of thing. And like Keddie said then at the end of that Pro 14 season down at the stadium, I think we really found our feet on our attack. Our defence we were just battering people, and we just hanged our hat on a few different areas, and it really meant something to everyone. And I think that was really exciting for the boys that come in, boys that come out, to push us on to next season. But yeah, definitely heading in the right direction.
Absolutely, and that's great to hear. Thank you guys for filling in for Rhodri. He's doing so well then. Hopefully we'll have him back in just a little bit. A question for you all. Harrison, we'll start with you. From David Hancock, he says, you're all stranded on a desert island, or even worse, Love Island. What luxury item would you take with you and why? Go on, Harrison, you can kick this off.
Probably a phone. Just got everything.
Fair enough.
Got all my music on there. Can ring someone to come pick me up. It's
Absolutely. And Lloyd, what about yourself? A luxury item?
Oh, luxury. Probably just the biggest flare you could find, so I could just shoot up in the sky and just get out of there ASAP.
I mean, you're not fans of Love Island? Because I know some guys like it, right?
Oh yeah, I love Love Island.
Do you
no,
read?
It's not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, no, I watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, I know a couple of guys who like it. My partner likes it. He'd hate me for telling you, but he does. Right, let's move on. Harrison, a question for you from Howell Jones. He says, without crowds and fans, do you see a difference playing home and away? Has it made things easier on the road, for example?
Yeah, I think in a way, yeah. I think kind of everything else that has come with COVID's probably made playing away difficult. Like, you're not allowed to leave the hotel at all now when you go away. So you kind of, if you've got a late kick-off, you're cooped up all day as the away team. So that can make it quite difficult sometimes. You kind of don't see the light of day until kick-off.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side of it, you lose that, like you say, you lose that home crowd advantage as well. So it's kind of like balancing up between the two.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Howell, for your question, and Harrison there. Adam Foster to Lloyd, where's your mullet gone? Any plans to bring it back? Who now has the best hair in the squad?
Oh, where has the mullet gone? Yeah, I think it might make a little comeback. I've been thinking about it, and yeah, it could make a comeback. I'm not sure. But there's a few little mullets actually in the squad. I think Joe Goodchild's got a nice little one. Dai's got a real long one actually. So yeah, Rio's got a crazy hair going on, but I quite like it. It's a bit different. Yeah, I think the mullet might come back.
There's a couple of questionable COVID cuts still hanging about, isn't there? A lot of people haven't made their trips to the barbers just yet.
Yeah, I mean, Hibbs, I'm not too sure what's going on with Hibbs. So I quite liked his long hair, but
yeah.
I don't really know what's going on there. Then Ollie shaves his own head, but he presses down too hard, so he has like these random lines on the back of his head. I keep reminding him, but he just doesn't listen in. Right?
Oh, bless him. Well, we will welcome back the mullet whenever you decide to bring that back. Lloyd, we'll keep with you. Paul Stewart has got a question for you. He says, if the opportunity presented itself, would you play for Wales or England? Now, I know that you've kind of touched on it again, but if you could have the choice.
Yeah, for me, it would have to be Wales. And like I said, I've been here sort of 7-8 years now, and I do really feel like this is my home. I feel like Dragons is my sort of rugby family, and the supporters of the Dragons have always had my back. Through all the ups and downs we've been through, they've always wanted the best. And yeah, to represent the Dragons, to represent my mum's family from Glenavon, it would mean a lot to me. Yeah, and it would be definitely the top of my career. So it'd be Wales, yeah.
Fantastic. That's good news. Let's move on to Ian Hall. He's actually got a question for both of you. Harrison, if you kick this off, since Dean has taken over, what is the one single thing he has brought to the squad that's made a difference?
That's a good question. I think he's probably put less of an emphasis on structure for the sake of structure and just kind of allowing boys a bit more freedom within the game, which I think a lot of the boys have found easier. Probably at the start it was quite difficult to grasp because you're kind of so used to being told what to do and when to do during a game. He's probably brought a lot more freedom. Still, obviously, like the guidelines you play within, but there's a lot of freedom within that now. And I think kind of that's been the biggest difference.
Absolutely. And Ian has also said that you're not allowed to say the same thing. Okay, Lloyd, so you're going to have to say a different thing.
That's a tough one. Yeah, it is. I think it is just not giving us some answers, not sort of drip feeding us a structure or sort of A, B, C, go there. It is sort of working as a squad, working as a team to look for our own answers and what suits us. It's tough. I know he's big on the sort of nuts and bolts of your position, and there's no hiding away from that. Things go wrong, things go well. Like our scrum and maul has kicked on, and that's been from hard work. It's been from honesty. It's not from sort of looking for other answers, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, it's probably just similar to Keddie, unfortunately. It is just not giving us some answers. It's being honest with each other and definitely working hard.
Absolutely. And Rhodri is back. Welcome back, Rhodri. We lost you there for a moment. But glad you're back. If you could take yourself off mute, which you have done, perfect. I'm not sure if you heard that last question, but it was from Ian, and he's wondering, since Dean has taken over, what is that one thing, that one single thing for you that he has brought to the squad that's made a difference? Because I mean, he's been instrumental, hasn't he, in the flourishing of Dragons as a team, as a squad, as a community.
Yeah, obviously, I agree with the boys. That's probably the main point. But to pick up something else is giving the younger boys a voice. We'll go to meetings where he could even tell the senior boys not to say anything and don't give the answers. And he will sit in awkward silence and wait for the younger boys to come up with the answers as well. Again, that's just improving growth and for them to find answers. And when they do play, then they're not always relying on the senior boys. They are looking to solve it themselves.
Absolutely. And Rhodri, as we've got you back, your luxury item if you were to go on Love Island. That was one of the questions.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd be too good on Love Island. Yeah, I'm not too sure. On a deserted island, I think I'd be on a boat. Take a boat with me. I'd be gone straight away.
Well, Lloyd said he could take a big flare with him to make sure you get off.
I'm not sure if I shot one up, anyone would come. So I think that'd be no good for me.
All right, guys. Well, look, let's move on to Harrison. We've got a question for you here from Llewellyn Smith. Thank you, Llewellyn Smith, for your question. What do you think our chances are against Leinster on Friday? And can we end the season on a high note? And actually, how important is that for you as a team to end on a high note this season?
I definitely think we've got a good chance on Friday. We've showed over the last few kind of weeks and months since Christmas that when we kind of show up and perform to how we want to play and to our structure, that teams can find it difficult to defend against us. I think we scored some great tries, so I think there's no reason why we can't continue to do that. And then again, it's just important. It's been a long season, and I think we put in a lot of hard work just to. You want to finish it on a high. You want to send boys like Brocky, Screechy, who are kind of leaving at the end of the year, Shanksy, another one. You want to kind of a final good memory of the club. And then it's also important to springboard into next season as well.
Absolutely. Well, look, good luck for Friday. We all hope, obviously, that you end on a high note. And thank you very much, Llewellyn, for your question. We'll move on to a question from Nathan Williams now. This is to Rhodri. As our, I suppose, international representative, is there a sense of disappointment in the camp that no Dragons were selected in the Lions squad?
I'd say, yeah, there probably is. We've got some quality. Obviously, Ross is a Lion, and someone like Aaron Wainwright. go back to the World Cup, he was up there, probably one of the best back rows in the UK. So obviously during the last 12 months he hasn't played as much, but he still got those core job there for another of the Lions, and obviously he's still young, so he's got a luxury of, you know, nothing wrong with in 4 years' time of pushing for that as well.
Absolutely. We're in and out with you there a little bit, Rhodri, that the bandwidth down west isn't that strong at the moment, but we're all good. We kind of got you there. On the subject of the Lions, though, we'll come to you, Lloyd, first of all. Which player for you do you think is going to stand out on the forthcoming Lions tour of South Africa?
Oh, for me, it has to be one of the tight heads. You know, it's such a big challenge going out there. South Africans going to pick the biggest, meanest sort of pack, and they're just going to scrum, aren't they? Scrum, maul, it's going to be set piece. So the three tight heads, Carson Clare's just got back in, and he's been in great form for Bristol. Got a point to prove as well. So yeah, it was probably the front row battle, but in particular the tight heads.
Fab. And what about yourself, Harrison? You know, as a seasoned pro, who are you looking forward to watching in South Africa?
I think it'll be all the back row. I think they picked an exciting back row out there. I think they're all quite different players and what they can do. You haven't got the kind of hasn't picked as typical, like, you know, South African or the giant pack, like Lloyd said. I think he's probably gone with some smaller back rows who can counter that. I think it'll make it quite interesting to see the two varying styles. Obviously, depend on who he picks.
Yeah. Perfect. Okay, guys, we're going to move on now to just as quick as you can. It's meant to be a quick fire, but as quick as you can to answer them. We'll start with Rhodri, Harrison, Lloyd. Okay, so this one's from Gary Street. Favorite player to play alongside and hardest player to play against? Rhodri, if you're there. And I don't think he is, unfortunately. We can hear his birds tweeting in the background, but I can't hear him. Harrison, we'll go with you then. Your favourite player to play alongside and the hardest player to play against?
Favourite player to play alongside? Probably enjoy playing with Wayno and Ollie and Muzz are probably the three that kind of enjoy playing with all of them.
Yeah.
And then hardest, probably we played against Samir Adrada for Bristol.
Okay. Lloyd, what about you? Your favourite player to play alongside with, and then someone who's, you know, you've just been a bit sort of nervous on the sidelines. We're thinking, oh no.
Yeah, probably a couple of years back, really. It's Thomas Rees-Thomas, the hooker. It's just, he's always had your back. You know, he'd work for you, he'd have your back, he'd love the set piece, and he's just always a player that sort of thought, yeah, like we're going at it together, sort of thing. And like Keddie said, you know, some of the back row we've got Ross. He always leads by example. Toby Faletau. I mean, that's, you know, it's great playing with him. Then hardest player to play against is probably the Welsh loose head, Wyn Jones, because he's so big and so strong.
Yeah.
I've always, whenever I've scrummed against him, I've always gone for pitch. Like, it's been a tough day. Do I mean, he's such a good scrummager, and probably Wyn Jones.
Perfect. Of course, he comes up a lot. Does Wyn Jones? John Carter, to both of you again. Quick fire once again. Which squad member has the most annoying habits? Go for it, Harrison.
So Leon Brown, he doesn't do it so much now. He used to go for a stage of getting in the change room before me, using my towel, then folding it back up wet and putting it on top of my clothes as if he hadn't used it. That went on for about 4 years.
Oh no.
Yeah, that was rough.
Annoying. What about you, Lloyd?
Well, I don't know if it's a habit, but it's probably just Hib's music choice. Every time we come into the gym, we got some good music on, we got some dance on, and then he just puts this funeral music on almost, and it's just like, oh God, I just can't deal with it.
I'll change my answer actually. Lloyd's music's a bad habit as well.
Oh no. What music taste do you have, Lloyd?
Well, I'm a bit more of a raver baby. I like a bit of dance. I like a bit of hard style. I like everything, but dance is where I'm at. And Hibs hates it.
Guys, thank you for that. Rhodri, I can see that you're back. I tell you what, you can kick off with the final question that we have, in fact, a nice one to send us out. What are your targets for next season? What is a realistic target for Dragons next year?
Hopefully the signal's good, I just think just keep building as a region and as a squad. Just keep building. We've obviously exposed a lot of the squad this year, and we need to kick on now and hopefully get some more results. We're pushing sides tight, but we're still not getting a lot of wins. And we are an ambitious squad and ambitious side. So yeah, I just think try and turn those narrow defeats in and flip them over and try and get some more results.
Absolutely. And Harrison, a short off season, you're going to be raring to go, but what are those realistic targets for next season?
Yeah, I think it's more when we look at targets for ourselves, we kind of look at the way we want to play first before actual maybe kind of set in stone results, because so much can happen in the game that can affect that. But it's probably just how we being more consistent in our defence and our attack in terms of how we want to do things, and not letting teams dictate games to us, probably.
Absolutely. And next season, of course, Lloyd, you're going to have the fans back at Rodney Parade, these people here tonight. Instead of seeing them on screen, you'll be able to see their faces. A target will be to share a pint with them in the terraces finally, but on field, what are your realistic targets?
Yeah, it's similar to what the boys said, really, just that real growth, that sort of winning them close games when you come off the pitch, you think, how did we lose that sort of thing? I think making Rodney Parade a fortress, I know it's easy to say, but that place, a hard place to come to. People don't like it. We love it. So, it'd be easy just to say win more games or be a bit higher up in the table, but I think growth as a squad, getting Rodney Parade packed and bumping again, and fans back in,
Well, Lloyd, thank you very much for coming on, taking your pills and coming on tonight. We hope your rehab goes well. I know it's been a funny couple of weeks for you, but thank you very much for your insight as well. It's been very interesting and nice to hear your plans for the future. Rhodri, exciting time for you ahead. Congratulations with your Wales call-up, and Harrison, with the captaincy and everything that's going on for you, I'm sure next season will be fantastic. And I know that you're very excited for the fans to be back in the terraces as well. So thank you so much for all those questions, and a couple that we didn't manage to get through, but hopefully we've managed to cover lots of things. The only thing that we need to do now, the final thing we need to do now is, as I mentioned at the start, our headline partners, Compeed, we're tonight giving away a signed Adam Warren jersey. So everyone who registered was automatically in the draw for that, and I can tell you that randomly selected, the winner of the Adam Warren jersey goes to Adam Foster. So Adam wins Adam's top. So congratulations, and thank you once again to Compeed as well tonight. Remember to if you loved this evening, remember to rave about it on social media, and hopefully we will be back next season. Hopefully we'll be in the clubhouse and not on Zoom, but who knows. Thank you very much to the Dragons Official Supporters Club for helping arrange these nights. The support of our headline partners, Compeed, once again. As I say, we'll see you all next season. Maybe later on this summer as well, who knows. But thank you once again. Keep checking our social media for updates. Thank you very much to Harrison, Lloyd, and Rhodri again, and everyone behind the scenes to make this happen. And enjoy the night. It's still young, and our newfound freedom, and we'll see you all next season. Thank you very much, guys.